and welcome back to Fraggle Talk, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by ToughPigs.com. This is the podcast where we cover Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock episode by episode. I'm your host, silly creature Joe Hennis. If you may have guessed, this is a bonus episode of Fraggle Talk. Much like Back to the Rock, which ended its first season a few months ago, we are back with a surprise episode where we'll be discussing Night of the Lights, a special holiday episode that you can watch right now on Apple TV+. Much like our other episodes in this podcast series, we'll be talking about the episode in full detail, so consider this your spoiler warning. If you haven't watched Night of the Lights yet, feel free to go watch it and then come back and find this podcast episode later. Don't worry, we'll be waiting for you. For this special holiday episode of Fraggle Talk, we're pleased to welcome two ToughPigs writers that I've specifically chosen for their unique expertise. First, you've heard her as the host of the Dig Deeper segments here on Fraggle Talk. It's our Fraggle Rock expert, Beth Cook. Hello, Beth.
I'm so excited to be here.
Hello. Also joining us is the co-host of the ToughPigs podcast, Moving Right Along, which is currently partway through covering Muppet Christmas Carol 2 minutes at a time. It's our Christmas expert, Anthony Strand. Hey, Anthony.
Hey, that's me.
That's
sucking down eggnog right now to talk about Night of the Lights. Hey,
that's
Joe.
right. You're our guy who's keeping Christmas with him all through the year.
All through the year. You know, it's true.
It is. So it's obviously we're all very familiar with the previous Fraggle Rock holiday episode, The Bells of Fraggle Rock. So it's exciting to see that they're coming back and they're doing it all over again, which is giving me a great opportunity to talk Fraggles and Christmas and holidays and Henson and all things encompassed with the two of you. So thank you both for being here. So Beth, let's start with you. You were obviously really involved with covering Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock for that first season that we've just wrapped. How does this episode hold up to you as a part of the larger series?
Oh, it fits in seamlessly. The only thing that makes it stand out is the fact that it can stand alone as its own thing. It doesn't have the larger connecting themes that was really new for us and seeing in Back to the Rock, that they could have this story arc over the whole season. Because the original Fraggle Rock, they were really more episodic and you could take them each as standalone episodes. And so this one felt, a little more nostalgic in that way, that you can just watch this along with all your other various Henson holiday specials.
Yeah, it's a bit of a return to form for Fraggle Rock in that way, right? It's like that standalone, that done in one story that we're so used to from the original series.
Yeah, but I also really liked that they kept what I expected from Back to the Rock in terms of a nice balance of the Fraggle Five and secondary characters, giving us one original song and one classic song from the original series.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a format that they're following here. Kind of walking that line between the old stuff and the new stuff, which is how it should be. We're bringing back old Henson property. Anthony, how does this hold up amongst the rest of the Muppet holiday canon? There's so many great holiday specials.
I mean, it's such a loaded question, right? Because I've seen this one time. I've only seen it
late.
once.
I've already asked it. Yeah.
I'll say that it is right in between. It is right above Dinosaurs Refrigerator Day and right below, I don't know, let's say The Christmas Toy.
Great. I think that actually might be accurate.
That might be accurate. No, I think it's very good. But I think, like what Beth was saying, especially in a show with characters that you love, one of the goals of a great Christmas episode or holiday episode is that you can just like pull it out once a year, and like maybe you haven't watched the show in a while, but like it's a good excuse just to see those characters and see what they're up to and watch them hang out. And like, I mean, I mentioned like Refrigerator Day. That's the episode of Dinosaurs I've seen the most times by far, because I watch it every single year, and I watch Bells of Fraggle Rock every single year, and so like I think this one fits in well with those, because I'm excited to revisit it. I'm excited to add it to the rotation, like it'll be fun to watch this back to back with Bells of Fraggle Rock, and remember that both versions of Fraggle Rock are really fun. Like, you know, because I think it. I mean, here's the thing: 2 years ago on my Facebook, and Joe, you know this, I counted down my 50 favorite Christmas episodes of all time, one day at a time, from November 6th through December 25th.
Classic Anthony.
I
I'll make a pop culture list for 50 days in a row.
It is.
That's Anthony.
Sad but true. That is Anthony. And Bells of Fraggle Rock was number 4 on that list. And it deserves it because it rules. Bells of Fraggle Rock is one of the best episodes of the original series. And I think that the fact that this one, like, it's like almost a microcosm of Back to the Rock in general, that it's incredible that it's not an embarrassment. It's incredible that they somehow managed to bring Fraggle Rock back and it doesn't feel just like a rehash, but it feels just as alive. Like somehow they just started cranking out new episodes of Fraggle Rock and it feels like Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
It still feels like a miracle.
It really does, right? Well, Beth, I remember talking to you after we both watched the first episode, and we were both just like incredulous that this happened. Like, because I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I think we both were like very nervous that it was going to be a disaster.
Absolutely, like cautiously optimistic, but with this show in particular, you know, if they didn't get it right, it was really gonna sting in a way no other reboot could. And the fact that they just got it pitch perfect was like, wait, what now?
Right.
We get more episodes of this? It's a whole season?
Yeah. And so now I think because that season ended in what, April? Is that right? About March?
That sounds about right.
Something like that. It was springtime.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so for now, all of a sudden, 7 months later, there's one more episode. It felt to me like, oh yeah, I love this. Oh yeah, this rules. You know what I mean? Like, there's a real sense of like, oh, it really is a gift to have Fraggle Rock back.
And we had some eagle-eyed folks on ToughPigs being like, hey, there's this shot in the trailer that we got for the series that now we don't see, and there was something about this, you know, episode 14 that doesn't seem to exist now, and now it exists. Now we understand why.
I definitely want to talk about that a bit more when we get to some of those scenes later on in this episode, but for now, I would love to dive into this episode with both of you. And again, for anyone who's listening, if you haven't watched it yet, it's a great episode. Go watch it, enjoy it, and then you can come on back here and you can follow along beat by beat as we break this thing apart. So this episode begins as the Fraggles are counting down to something, and they're counting 5, 4, pickle, 2, 1, which is so stupid and hysterical. I love that so much. They're lighting the glow grapes, and it looks like there's like Christmas lights all over Fraggle Rock and hanging from the stalagmites or stalactites, or I don't know which one is which. Does anyone know?
Stalactites are the ceiling because C ceiling, C stalactite, G stalagmite, G ground.
Whoa, you're teaching me all sorts of things today, Anthony.
Yep.
That's his job, is to know things and teach people things.
That's true. I'm literally a librarian, so yeah, that's man.
True. And the storyteller is giving her big speech. She's just explaining it's the darkest night of the year. There's a lot of exposition here coming from the storyteller, which is also, by the way, like the greatest character to do this, because she's flailing her arms. She's talking like a drunk lady, and she's telling everyone that it's the darkest night of the year. This is the time when the Fraggles push back against the darkness, and she starts going, "No darkness, bad darkness. It's not your night, darkness." And she's literally, I wish I could explain how she flails. It's a very specific kind of flail that she's doing. But it's Night of the Lights. Happy Night of the Lights, everybody.
Happy Night of the Lights.
Yeah.
When I was watching through the first 13 episodes of Back to the Rock, I was playing a little game with myself where I would mark how soon I could spot what the lesson of the episode was going to be. And in this episode, I got it in her first paragraph. As soon as
Really?
she started saying, "No darkness, not your night anymore, darkness." And I was like, ooh, I wonder if this is going to be about, oh, sometimes you have to embrace the darkness. Spoiler alert. So I was really proud of myself for that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's fascinating. And I will have more questions about that at the end of the episode, because I'm the opposite. I didn't understand what the theme was until they got to it. And then I'm still like, is it though? Does that make sense? So let's put a little pin in that and come back to
We'll
it.
definitely come back to that.
But Night of the Lights is now, I guess, the other winter holiday that the Fraggles have.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah, please.
So in this episode, Moki and Red talk about exchanging Night of the Lights presents.
Mm-hmm.
In Bells of Fraggle Rock, when they are celebrating the rock slowing down. Does it have a name? I guess it's just like Festival of the Bells, right?
Festival of the Bells, yeah.
Yeah. But when they're celebrating that, nobody talks about presents, right? It's
Mhm.
just they're gonna ring the bell, and that's what the thing is. Well, in Muppet Family Christmas, we have a time like that. We all give each other little presents.
Whoa.
Huh? So is Night of the Lights the one they're talking about in Muppet Family Christmas? Because
That's very possible, although I will throw a small monkey wrench into this. In
Darn it.
Bells of Fraggle Rock, Doc is making it clear it's the winter solstice, because there's all these different solstice traditions around the world. And solstice, as we know, comes just a few days before Christmas. If these two holidays are in fact separate holidays that are very distinct and not just like part of like the larger Christmas celebration or whatever it is, then they're only like 3 days apart from each other.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but you know how Fraggles can have their birthdays whenever they want? And they were like, okay, Red, yes, you could have your birthday today, but you just had yours like 4 days ago. So why don't we let Wembley have a chance? They absolutely have so many more holidays than we do. They must. They've got to have more than one winter holiday.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Especially because like we know that they have lots of holidays. They've had lots of holidays throughout the series. And so like they probably do have a new holiday. It's like right now when we see on social media when people are like, it's National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, it's National Hug a Corgi Day, it's National Stand on Your Head Day, and everyone's posting stupid memes about it. And it's like, yes, there's a holiday every single day, and the Fraggles actually have real ones as opposed to, it's National Water Bottle Day or whatever.
They take their silliness very seriously.
They do.
That's true.
Well, but also though, I mean, we know it's a multiverse. Like, we know this is not exactly the same Fraggle Rock as the original series. Like,
yep,
it starts with a different version of Matt going to explore outer space.
Sure, yeah.
Doc is a different person.
So are you saying that Barry Allen went back in time, saved his mom, and now suddenly there's two different Fraggle Christmas holidays?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. There's like, hey, do you remember the episode with 4 Wembleys?
Yeah, sure.
In this
4 Wembleys
season?
and a birthday.
That was 4 Barry Allens at his mom's death.
Whoa. I feel terrible for the people who have no idea what we're talking about, but I feel worse for the people who do.
There was a TV show called The Flash, and it was very good for exactly 1 season. So
that is true. And there's a comic book called Flashpoint, which they keep remaking in other media, even though it's not very good. And that's kind of where all this is stemming from. Yep. Anyway,
Fraggle Rock is way better than that.
Fraggle Rock is way better than The Flash, any version of The Flash, because we also get our first song of the episode. I assume it's called.
Quick,
oh, yes, please.
Right before the song, we see, or maybe it's during the song, there's a radish-shaped pinata.
Yeah, it's during the song. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm choosing to believe that this is a nod to what you were talking about in the Bells of Fraggle Rock, that we see Doc and Sprocket breaking open a pinata.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That pinata, it's great. It's a radish pinata, and then when they finally break it open, it's filled with radishes.
It's full of radishes.
Which I love.
Yeah,
but this song, I'm guessing it's called Night of the Lights. We don't actually know that just yet. I'm sure we'll find out any day now. But it's like a poppy Christmas song. Anthony, I feel like it sounded really similar to another specific Christmas song, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Did it remind you of anything in particular?
I mean, I don't know. It feels a little bit like Last Christmas by Wham.
That's what I'll accept that.
That's what it reminded me of a little bit.
I wrote down that it reminds me of All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there you go. Like, it's just like a poppy Christmas song.
There's a specific, I'm going to have to re-listen to it, but part of it was like, oh, I think maybe it was like a ba-dum, like something like that.
Yeah.
Something
Sure.
that feels very like poppy and modern. Yeah.
Yeah. There's definitely a ba-dum in that song. That's also like the ba-dum and All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah.
Incredible. So during the song, Jamdalin shows up, our buddy Jamdalin. He is once again voiced by Daveed Diggs. I'm guessing he's probably puppeteered by puppeteer Andy Hayward, who was on this podcast.
Yes, we know. Well, we know that he is because Andy posted a picture of him and Jamdalin on the with glow grapes in the background.
Oh, there you go.
Social media.
All right. Thank you, social media. Thanks, Andy, for posting a picture you probably shouldn't have because you leaked a whole bunch of Christmasness to us. But he doesn't have the other troubadours with him. So I wonder where they are. Any theories?
They're on vacation. They're at home with their
Candace would
families.
just show up randomly without the other minstrels once in a while.
I don't think the other minstrels are in Bells of Fraggle Rock, are they?
I don't think so. They might be like singing along in the background, but they definitely don't have speaking lines in that episode.
Right.
Sure.
It's just like Candace showing up and being like, you know where the great bell is. That's the whole episode. Here's the thing. That's the whole episode, and it's the greatest thing ever aired on television. It's the best.
Terrific. I love that.
Anyway,
which is a good reason why Jamdalin is in this episode, because that does feel like a bit of a throwback to Bells of Fraggle Rock, which had Candace as a special guest star, you know?
Right.
Yep. You need the guy who shows up and his entire job is to be groovy and mellow and inscrutable.
Exactly.
Yes. Right. And also, like, strangely, the grown-up in the room, which Fraggle Rock rarely has, but these two characters definitely act as like an authority, not really a childlike character, not as daft as some of the other adults on the show,
right? Or
adultish figures.
Right.
Well, we'll see more of him in a minute, but speaking of cameos, we get a glimpse of the Grizzard, our buddy, who's was previously known as the Lizard, I believe, in the episode Gone But Not Forgotten from the original series.
He's what Mudwell the Mud Bunny turns into.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. And he's got a glow grape on his nose, like Rudolph, but he doesn't look very happy about it, which I also like. We also see a Fraggle on stilts, which I don't know if we've seen before.
Yeah, that rules.
I had the same note. Like, it feels like it fits seamlessly into Fraggle lore, and yet as a puppetry trick, I don't know if we've seen it.
So cool. It's so fun.
I feel like we've seen it on the old show, like in the background, and I couldn't tell you when or where, or if that's even true. And I might be thinking of, I'm saying this without having it in front of me, so I could get any detail of this wrong. You know that mural of the theater with all the Muppets in the seats that used to be in the Henson Company office in New York?
Mm-hmm.
So in the background, there's definitely a character who's on stilts. In my memory, it's a Fraggle. So I wonder if it's like, oh yeah, there's Fraggles on stilts, and that's why this person illustrated this into this painting.
It's not a Fraggle though. It's like it's just like a whatnot court jester.
Oh, well, there goes that theory.
Yeah.
But you're right, it does feel like it fits. Like, of course, Fraggles on stilts. Makes perfect sense.
Right. Yeah.
And later on in the episode, I don't know if you caught Gobo saying like, let's go check in with Rhonda about the stilts or whatever. So I guess that character's name is Rhonda.
Rhonda, yeah.
Which that has to be like honoring someone specific that they know whose name is Rhonda, because you just don't go around naming a Fraggle Rhonda.
Yeah, it's named after Alf's girlfriend. We also see Large Marvin in the audience, and I was really expecting Large Marvin to have some sort of line
Have a
or something,
part.
but
Yeah, me too.
nothing.
But so many characters have lines in this. Like they devote so much time to including as many of our friends as they can. So I get it.
That's true. Yeah, no, I'm not going to complain about the lack of Large Marvin when he's right there.
Like,
he's with everyone else.
Large Marvin doesn't say anything. I'm never watching Fraggle Rock again.
What kind of Christmas is this?
Yeah.
Don't even get Large Marvin.
The darkness does win.
I would say also the confetti cannons are another thing that we've definitely seen multiple times in Back to the Rock that I don't think we saw in the original, but it just fits. Of course they have confetti cannons that are going off all the time.
So for some reason, this made me think of, for obvious reasons, it made me think of that episode of the 2015 Muppet Show. I believe the episode was Because Love, which has Crazy Harry sitting off a confetti cannon of like pink rose petals or something like that. And I mistakenly thought that was the Christmas episode. So I was like, I'm thinking already, like, this is just like that Christmas episode of the Muppets, but it's not. That's a different holiday. So it's not at all related, except that they both have Muppets with confetti cannons on a holiday.
Right. And
this was nothing. This thought was nothing. Why did I say it out loud? It doesn't mean anything.
Speaking of thoughts that are nothing and should not be said out loud,
yeah,
we all remember when Pinkie Pie would fire off a confetti
That was literally
cannon.
my thought. That was nothing and should not be said out loud.
There you go.
Pinkie Pie would fit in so perfectly.
She really
here.
would. That's the thing.
She'd be having the time of her life.
I assume this is a My Little Pony thing, right?
Specifically,
this is...
do you remember that Gift of the Magi episode with Pinkie Pie where she gave away her confetti cannon in order to get a rock pouch for her sister Maud? And her sister Maud got little cupcake scented confetti for her confetti cannon.
Yeah. Classic.
It's really like you're speaking Swedish.
I was thinking about the one with the Weird Al though, with Cheese Sandwich.
Yes,
where he's the other party planner, and that because that ends with like the confetti cannons are like what makes the party in the end. He didn't think of confetti cannons, and then Pinkie Pie rolls them in. Joe, friendship is magic.
Yeah, in case you didn't get the memo, friendship is magic.
I got it. Okay. And you can't leave the magic. Therefore, you can't leave the friendship.
And that's why Pinkie Pie would fit in on Fraggle Rock.
Exactly. They could be illustrated by Katie Cook.
There you go.
Right?
Get Katie Cook to draw that crossover.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Call her up.
Oh man. Okay.
So
we're gonna get on this. Yes.
Jamlin brings in this new little, I guess it's called a floopy bug.
Yeah, the floopy bug.
Have we seen these creatures before?
I don't think so.
No.
And here's the thing about the Flooby bug. Like he's like, oh, I ran into this Flooby bug named Coop. And then each of the Fraggles says hello to Coop, specifically calling out his name, which made me think, oh, Coop is going to be a big part of this episode. They're like hammering it in. Don't forget about Coop. It's Coop, your new friend Coop. We're going to be selling merchandise with Coop on it, you know?
When Coop isn't on screen, everyone should be asking, where's Coop?
Where's Coop? I am actually asking where's Coop, because like Coop was kind of forgotten after the like this introduction and then the next scene coming up.
Yeah, when Jamdalin first introduced him, he was kind of like looking around as if he were like uncomfortable, and then I felt like the Fraggles were deliberately trying to make him feel welcome. I was like, oh, okay, this is where we're going. Turns out, no.
Nope.
Right. That definitely feels like something that was happening because of the lessons that we've learned through the rest of this series of Back to the Rock, because there's so much about acceptance and so much about like being welcoming and being a bigger community. But like you said at the beginning of this podcast, you know, this isn't really connected to the larger story, the larger lessons from Back to the Rock. So it does feel like it's a little out of place.
Right. They don't give Ed Helms a new home in this one.
Well, in this scene, also, in addition to meeting Coop, Boober introduces us to his holiday root cake. which sounds disgusting. I'm sure it is disgusting because all the other Fraggles recoil in disgust. They don't want any part of it. They also don't want to be impolite to Boober, so they're making up reasons why they don't want it. But Anthony, I don't expect you to sit here and tell me the history of fruitcake as a holiday gift, but I would like you to tell us a little bit about fruitcake as a holiday gift as seen in holiday specials, as specifically this joke. Like that nobody wants fruitcake. Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, okay, so this is not a special, but did you see the movie Mixed Nuts?
I mean, I think I saw it once, but I don't remember anything about it.
That's enough times. That's a Nora Ephron movie from 1994. It's right after Sleepless in Seattle for her, I think. And it's about Steve Martin and Madeline Kahn running like suicide prevention hotline. And for whatever reason, the movie Mixed Nuts has like multiple jokes about Madeline Kahn receiving fruitcakes and like graciously accepting fruitcakes that she doesn't want. And so when I think of fruitcake jokes in holiday programming, it's not even special. It's the movie Mixed Nuts. So I know that there are some, but like, I don't know.
I know that there's one in one of the Golden Girls Christmas episodes.
Right. That's what I was going to say, is it's one of those things that comes up on sitcoms more, I feel like. And it's just kind of like, oh, we're talking about fruitcakes.
Well, the one that I was specifically thinking of was the Pee-wee holiday special.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which, like, everyone gives him a fruitcake.
Everyone gets fruitcake.
Tiny fruitcake.
Builds like a wall of fruitcake with it. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, and that's so good because it's like a subversion. The trope is like, yuck, fruitcake. And Pee-wee's like, oh, fruitcake. And then he does something productive with them and builds a wall of fruitcake.
Classic Pee-wee. Yeah. I really want to know where that started. Maybe we'll have to do some research offline. And
I don't know, because
get the history of fruitcake.
I don't know, like I've definitely eaten fruitcake before, but like not that much. Nobody really makes it.
Do you think that this joke killed the fruitcake?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, and then we get to see Pogi run in. He's covered in glow grapes, and he just kind of screams and flails and then runs off, which is I was really hoping for a Pogi appearance in this episode, and I'm glad that it was so brief and chaotic.
Yeah.
I also really love his sweater seems to be made entirely of tinsel, whereas the other Fraggles are wearing like a tinsel necklace or a tinsel headband, and he's just all decked out in tinsel and glow grapes, of course.
We didn't even talk about that all the Fraggles are in their like winter holiday clothes, which people, myself included, adore when Muppets are dressed for the holidays. Yeah, they've got like scarves and hats and tinsel and stuff. Yeah, it's great.
Well, that's what I was gonna say about the tinsel necklaces. It's like, it's a new look. You know, in Bells of Fraggle Rock, they're all just wearing like stocking caps and scarves and stuff, like you say, which is great and adorable. Don't get me wrong, it's the best. But in this one, it was like exciting and new. You know, I wasn't expecting it.
I love it. You could tell that like the same as what we heard with all the people that we've interviewed on this podcast before, but it sounds like it was the props people and the costume people just like, oh, they want me to put a scarf on Red. Well, I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to make this look great, and I'm going to put little sparkly pom-poms on it, and make it look holiday-ish. And I don't know, it all works. It all fits in with the characters. Like Boober's got like this comfy looking sweater. I mean, that's terrific. I love it.
I had the same thought, and this is jumping ahead slightly, when Moki presents her present to Red, and it's this gorgeously wrapped thing with like a little cluster of wintry foliage, and it looks like, handmade paper that was colored with watercolor paints, and it was like, someone got to make that.
Yeah, it's true. Well, let's talk about that. So yeah, Red and Moki are exchanging gifts, sort of. Red doesn't really want to because she she doesn't say it in this scene why she didn't want to exchange gifts. She's just kind of
she's like about to say it, and then Moki cuts her off. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and Moki gives her this painting of Red diving into the pond, and she like holds a glow grape up to it, and it looks like it's supposed to do something really special. To me, it just looked like it kind of lit it up a little bit, right? Like,
Lit it up, yeah.
Was it anything more than that to you?
To me, it reminded me of, like, those blacklight paintings
Yeah.
that I'm guessing if all of the other lighting sources were gone and it was just glow grape lights, that maybe it might look cooler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was expecting something like, oh, and if you hold the glow grape up to it, then there's like a secret pattern behind it, or it spells your name, or I don't know what. But it was just like, oh yes, it made it, like, the light made it slightly lighter. That's what light does. It is a very thoughtful gift. And now Red needs to try to, one up her and find a great gift to give back to her. That's going to be Red and Moki's little runner throughout this episode. The world's oldest Fraggle overhears everybody talking about how great the lights are, and he runs in and goes, "Floopty whoopty! If these lights were real, we wouldn't be dancing. The lights would be dancing." And he sounds like a crazy old man. I love the world's oldest Fraggle.
It's so good because they have their little moment of just nod and smile and humor the old guy, but the music that was playing while he was talking, I was like, this has a definite air of Chekhov's dancing lights to it.
Sure,
This is
yeah.
gonna come back.
Jamdlin and the Fraggles decide they're going to start making some Night of the Light wishes. I guess this is the tradition, is that you make wishes on the Night of the Lights. Wembley wishes he can find the biggest, most special, most magical light any Fraggle has ever seen. Gobo keeps his wishes secret. Red wishes she can find a great gift for Moki. Moki later will tell us that she has a wish, but she doesn't actually make it in this scene. Boober wishes to make it through the night. He says, "I'm not shooting for the stars here, just trying to see another day. Thanks for your time."
So relatable, my dude.
Oh, so good. That's such a good Boober line. And Jamdlin wishes that he can dance with Coop. Remember Coop? We said his name like 12 times.
That's our
Hey,
buddy.
he came back.
Yeah.
Our buddy Coop. Yes. And then we hear this like disco tune, and Coop's legs like extend out, and then he like dances a little bit, and then he goes right back down.
It's so Muppety. I love it.
It really is.
Very cute. It's some nice puppetry. It's a cool character design once he kind of extends those legs. But that's it for Coop. That's a wrap on Coop, everybody.
For now.
Bye, Coop.
Who knows?
For now.
Who knows what's happening in the future?
I hope that'd be amazing if we got more Coop in season 2. Yeah.
Maybe Coop is the sensational character find of 2023, and we just don't know it yet.
Maybe. How amazing would it be if they started making Coop a merchandise and like not really anything else?
That's the only character you can buy.
That's right. Yeah, just Coop. Yeah, he's a collectible. collect all one.
Collect all one Coop. I was gonna say about the wishes. I like that first we get Wembley being like, "I want to find the brightest light," and then everybody else gets a nice little character beat, and then Jamdlin is just like, never mind, let's do that first one. Like,
right? Yeah.
Like it's very like it's like all the rest of this was just like a fun side thing, but that first one Wembley said, that's it. That's the rest of the episode. Let's go.
Yeah. First idea, best idea.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, everybody else. You're on your own.
There's a line that the world's oldest Fraggle has a little later on. He says, "Off we go to find the show." And I feel like that was a moment of like, oh, we found the direction the show is going in.
Of this
Right.
specific show, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, do you think that was like the Fraggles are all sitting in the writer's room and they're all trying to break the story? And then Jamdlin is like the head writer, and he's like, "No, I like that one. Let's go with that. We found the show."
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Pretty much.
The world's oldest Fraggle overhears all this, and he offers to lead everyone to a giant special light. Boober says, "So we're leaving the safety of our incredibly well-lit Great Hall on the darkest night of the year to follow a notoriously unreliable Fraggle on an adventure to find some kind of light." And Wembley goes, yeah. And he says, "Just sort of recapping, right? So if something bad happens, you can't say that Boober didn't recap." Again, they're in the writer's room, they're breaking the story, and Boober's like, "Well, we got to have a recap. We got to tell everybody what we're doing. Can't just jump in." Yeah, that's storytelling 101, everybody. The Doozers overhear all this, and they want to find the special light as well.
At that point, I thought there was going to be a lot more of a Doozer subplot than there actually ends up being.
Yeah, same
Like
here.
when we first see him 9 minutes in or whatever, I was like, oh, cool, Doozer time. And then there's like maybe a minute or something, total.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I feel
it's
like
nice to see him.
this is like what you guys were saying before when I was talking about Large Marvin for some ungodly reason, that like everyone kind of gets their moment. Like we have the Doozers here because we want the Doozers to make an appearance, but the episode's not really about the Doozers, or like even the B, like there's not room for a B plot about the Doozers, but we want to make sure that they're represented. And like as the Fraggles are now like leaving the Great Hall, how else are you going to get the Doozers in there unless they kind of follow? They kind of just like chime in to be like, hey guys, we're here too, as you're walking away from us.
Right.
The architect Doozer suggests that they should find the light because they can use it to work. And then he says, for a very long time, just as Cotterpin is saying, forever. And he goes, oh, no, yours is paper. Yeah, that was a good. You could tell also that was John Tartaglia. Like, I bet you the script said forever. And then he's just messing around because he's John Tartaglia and he can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
And also it's hysterical. And the architect is hysterical. Speaking of characters who just get a couple of moments, the Fraggles are cutting through the Gorg's garden. And the world's oldest Fraggle basically just like shouts and runs across the garden like willy-nilly. This is where Jamdalin is starting to show this like reverence for the world's oldest Fraggle. He goes, fearless, what an icon.
So I say something, Joe. Jamdalin talking about the world's oldest Fraggle in this episode sounds exactly like you talking about every celebrity you've ever met.
Yeah, I can see that.
You do that all the time.
I have this joke. My wife Sarah and I have this joke where if we've ever encountered a celebrity, like even if it's like we didn't speak to them, like like that time that I was on a plane and Jane Krakowski was also on that plane, we always refer to them as like, oh, it's my buddy. Like, it's my buddy Jane Krakowski who we were on that flight together to LA. You know what I mean?
Right. Joe, you told me the words, it was my buddy Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Did I say my buddy Charles Entertainment Cheese?
Probably.
You're mixing two jokes. And then I said, that's the chap. We're just
yeah, you did.
Stupid catchphrases.
All your stupid catchphrases in one. That's actually what you got me for Night of the Lights was, did you know that I met my buddy Charles Entertainment Cheese?
That's the chap. Wow. I hope everyone listening listens to all of the ToughPigs podcasts so they can understand these stupid jokes.
Everyone listening to this is a Joe Hennes super fan. I'm sorry, but it's true.
And now if you are a Joe Hennes super fan, then you're my buddy. And I'm your buddy.
I've been one since 2004. You know that.
Well, I'm talking about the people listening, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now we're all buddies.
Yeah.
Well, that said,
what else happens on this story?
Okay, we got to take a moment to appreciate the Gorg's outfits.
Yeah,
this is incredible.
Yes.
Junior is wearing a full radish print onesie with butt flap, of course, because that's how you indicate an adorable child character at Christmas time. A onesie with a butt
classic,
flap.
Baby Fozzie outfit there.
And then Ma and Pa are in holiday sweaters with, I think, radishes on them, and they're all stringing glow grapes around a stone thing. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Good question. Yeah, I didn't look close enough, but yeah, it was probably a stand-in for what the fountain was, which got destroyed in the season finale. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I can't remember who said it. I feel like in one of the Fraggle Talk interviews that I did, someone was talking about Karen Prell and how she has this encyclopedic knowledge for the original series, and she had said something along the lines of like, oh well, if you're doing like Junior's pajamas, then like he's got pajamas that like it's this radish print and whatever. Because they went and sourced it and found it. It didn't occur to me in that moment that I don't know if we saw Junior in his pajamas in the season, and she may have been talking about this special.
Was, yeah.
Yeah, right. So I didn't put that together at the time. That would have tipped me off that is there a 14th episode that you're not telling us about? But yes, all of those sweaters are amazing. Junior's pajamas are amazing. And I like that Junior's also wearing his crown at the same time, which we don't see him wear very often.
Yeah, I think in the original series he doesn't have one at all until he inherits it from Pa at the very end.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Again, Barry Allen messing up the timeline.
That's all he does.
That's all he does. The Gorgs have strung the castle with glow grapes. They're about to turn them on. Pa Gorg starts counting. So
awesome.
But beforehand, Pa Gorg is counting down, and he goes 3, 2, Fraggles, and then they are about to pounce on the Fraggles, and then the lights turn on and blind everybody. But what I found amusing about this is that's 2 jokes about countdowns where they replace a word with something that is not a number in this episode.
Right. Someone thought that was the best joke to make.
I thought it was a good joke.
Running gag.
I could have used a third. I needed a rule of 3 for that one, or a rule of pickle, depending on what your counting is. Yeah,
just like Myth. You know, they only do the Myth running gag twice.
Yeah, they should have done Myth a third time.
Oh,
the original Good Grief, it's a running gag.
That's right. Yeah. So the Fraggles continue on. They pass the trash heap, who Marjorie is wearing sunglasses. Philo and Gunge are also wearing sunglasses.
That's so good.
One of them, I can't remember which one now. One of them has like an orange peel on the sunglasses as well.
Yeah, I forgot to note down which one it was.
Yeah.
It was either Philo or Gunge. And you'll have to watch the episode to find out.
There's some sort of device to remember which one is Philo and which one is Gunge, right?
Yep. Philo is pink and Gunge is gray.
Yep.
Philo's pink and Gunge is gray. There you go. Yeah, stalactite and stalagmite all over.
But it's the opposite for remembering which one was Dave Goles and which one was Richard Hunt. Because I want to say Goles is gray is Gunge, but that's not true. It's Hunt is gray Gunge.
Right, because I remember that because Gunge the Great and Glorious, the episode, is all about Gunge, and that's Richard Hunt. Like he gets to sing that we're going to party Saturday night.
He gets to Richard Hunt all over the place.
He gets to Richard Hunt all over the place. Exactly.
Amazing. How lucky we are to have this show in our lives. Right. Man, so good.
So there's this beautiful moment. They're rushing by. Boober says that they're following the world's oldest Fraggle to Goosh knows where.
He says, I put on the subtitles for that.
What is Goosh?
I put on the subtitles, and the subtitle said goose. To Goose knows where.
Mine said
I don't know.
Goosh.
It could be goosh. It could be goose. Maybe the subtitles very well could be wrong. I genuinely have no idea. Like at that point, like why did you say it if it was going to be so
but if it's
hard to understand?
If it's goose, that actually makes sense to me because I don't know about
Goose
you.
Chase.
Well, Goose Chase, that's true. But like when in my house, we have small children. We often substitute goose down for another profanity with the same initials. For example, if we're singing Cabinet Battle Number 2 from Hamilton, Hamilton's first line is, "You must be out of your goose down mind if you think, you know."
That's horrible.
So that made sense to me that would be Boober's substitute for that as well.
All right, I'll accept that. I'll accept it.
Uh-huh.
I like also when Jamdalin passes by, he goes, "Delightful to see you, Marjorie. You look trashy." And then she kind of like fans herself off. Yeah.
I mean, if Jamdalin said that to me, I'd take it as a compliment.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's not many Fraggles that like ooze sexuality, but like it's basically just Jamdalin. Like, do you think Jamdalin is the sexiest Fraggle?
but now I'm trying to think. Like, that's the thing. Yeah.
I mean,
now you got me thinking about it.
I'm laughing because the truth is that Large Marvin is the sexiest Fraggle.
I mean, well, the question is how many Fraggles are played by Daveed Diggs?
Right.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. Wow. All right. Well, we don't need to think about this any further because that's just going to get disturbing. Marjorie warns the Fraggles about the num birds because they eat glow grapes. And that scene just oozes with foreshadowing.
Right, of course.
Gunge even says ominous.
Ominous.
Yeah, that's good.
It's true. And then Red pops back in, and I like that she asked the trash heaps if she has any gifts, like something that she can give to Moki for the holiday, and which by the way she should, because she is made up of everything. It should be really easy to get a gift out of Marjorie, but she goes, "Not a store, honey."
Yeah, that's great.
That's a great line reading. I love that. So the Fraggles continue on, and they find themselves in another cave. Well, first of all, they spot Mudwell the Mud Bunny, which is always nice to see that dude. Also from the original episode, Gone But Not Forgotten.
He just kind of runs off chuckling to himself. So we don't get to know if he's named Mudwell the Mud Bunny, or if, like Bagoonie, he's got a new name.
He's just like some other Mud Bunny. Yeah. And
that's right.
Of course we should. Well, and we maybe should note, because there are people watching this show who maybe wouldn't recognize Mudwell the Mud Bunny from Fraggle Rock, but would recognize him as a pirate from Muppet Treasure Island.
Yep,
because
that's a good
he's
point.
Like one of those main pirate puppets that's always around in that movie.
Yeah, he's the one that's crying over dead Tom's dead.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah, that's a good
anyways,
point.
Here he is back again.
Yeah, that's right. Boober points out it feels like they've been walking in circles, which makes sense because, like, again, like they're back in the rock, or at least it seems to us like they're back in Fraggle Rock. Why did they cut through the Gorg's garden? Why did they pass through the trash heap when really they could have just stayed in the rock? And I think we'll see why in a minute, but in the moment and in Boober's eyes, it does actually seem like they're walking in circles.
Did that speak to anyone else of there's a solstice tradition of walking the labyrinth? Call it another Henson production. Now, granted, the labyrinth in the movie Labyrinth is actually a maze because you can get lost in there, lots of dead ends. But in an actual labyrinth, there's only one path, and the only place you can go is to keep going forward. And that is a solstice tradition. And I was like, are they like paying homage to that, or is that just a coincidence that I'm choosing to see?
Huh, good question. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's something to think about. I never heard of that tradition, because I also, when I think of, like, if I was going to link labyrinth or a labyrinth to a holiday, I would think maybe Halloween, but probably just because I'm thinking of like a hay maze at like an apple picking farm,
right?
Where you would get your pumpkin for Halloween, But that's I guess
like
I'm saying that's not really a holiday thing. Yeah, that's
this one I think is more
into.
of like a pagan solstice tradition where like, it's towards the end of the year, you do some reflecting while you're walking about the past year and your intentions for the following year. Sure, which seems very Fragglish.
It does.
It's true, yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. The world's oldest Fraggle says this is definitely the right way. Just one quick question. Where are we going again? And this is starting a new running gag here for the rest of the episode, where the world's oldest Fraggle is apparently very forgetful. I like that Red goes, "We were following you," and he goes, "Oh, we're yelling now. Oh, that's fun." It reminds me of that scene in Anchorman when they're all shouting and Steve Carell's like, "Loud noises." It's like, yeah, we're just shouting. Everybody's just shouting all the time.
That's what time it is.
Yep. The world's oldest Fraggle shares a flashback to the first time he saw the lights, and we get an amazing flashback. Yes, Anthony.
Oh man, this is my favorite part of the whole episode.
It's this flashback.
Incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
So good.
What a gift that we got with just specifically this flashback.
Can I say 2 words?
Yeah.
Cave Inkspots.
Sabre-toothed Inkspots.
Sabre-toothed
Inkspots.
It is wild. Right? It's so good.
Incredible. So we see saber-toothed Inkspots. We see cave Fraggles. They're basically like Fraggle cavemen. There's giant radishes the size of gourds.
Like Bert-esque unibrows.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now, okay, they say the world's oldest Fraggle claims, back then radishes were the size of gorks. That radish was only about the size of like 2 or 3 Fraggles put together.
Yeah, but he was so tiny. Okay, so we gotta talk about this.
But good point.
Like, he was so tiny, and also like his memory sucks. But like, it's like I get it. It's like when you go back to your old high school and you're like, man, this place seems smaller than I remember. It's like, yeah, because you're a bigger human and memory is weird. Okay, but here's the real key to this sequence. Is that we get baby world's oldest Fraggle. We get the
The
world's, youngest Fraggle.
Fraggle.
Well, and
Incredible.
what's so funny about it is that one of the cave Fraggles addresses him as world's youngest Fraggle in the scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I wonder if
Amazing.
every time a new Fraggle is born, they get to be called that
I
Oh,
hope
until
everyone
the
gets a
next one
turn
comes along.
at being the world's youngest Fraggle.
Yeah.
right.
I like that.
That's
It,
just
it
your
also indicates that, like, for some reason, he was never given a proper name. He was always addressed, regarding his age. So, do you think that between the him being the newest Fraggle born or hatched to him being the oldest Fraggle, he was like the world's middleest Fraggle, the world's most
absolutely.
middle-aged Fraggle.
world's middleest Fraggle.
Yeah, middleist is definitely a word nowadays.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. He says, I was just the world's youngest Fraggle back then, clear-eyed and fresh-bearded. And Red says, wait, you still had a beard? He goes, no questions. This is my flashback.
Yeah, that rules. Oh, that's so... And the little beard on the world's youngest Fraggle is adorable. The whole
The
world's
little
youngest
beard
Fraggle.
and the giant eyes, and instead of carrying a staff, he's carrying a little paddle.
Oh,
yeah.
God. It's just the character design for that is amazing. I mean, Baby Yoda who, right?
Oh yeah,
Right. Well, you know who his giant eyes kind of reminded me of
Who's that?
is Baby Dory in Finding Dory.
Yeah.
oh absolutely, I could see that.
Movie that I saw about 50 times when Iris was like 3 and 4. I mean, we watched it. That was like all we did was watch Baby Dory back then.
That's
So,
a good,
yeah,
that's a
she
good
too.
comp.
Like that's much like a Fraggle. That's a character who had big eyes in the first place, and then when they show her as a baby, has even larger eyes. So that's what it made me think. Yeah.
So this is another way that the timeline has changed, because in this timeline they knew about radishes from the get-go, and in the original series, Matt discovers them when he discovers the Gorg's garden.
When he's a child, yeah. That's
Do you
right.
think
They were eating
maybe
mushrooms before that, and
I'm gonna throw out a crazy
Follow
theory.
me.
Is traveling Matt secretly older than the world's oldest Fraggle? Could that have taken place before this flashback?
I was
Uncle
thinking
Gobo wasn't a caveman.
But we also know there's different Fraggle tribes, you know?
That's
yeah,
true.
this might
That's
just
true.
be a specific group of cave Fraggles. I was
Yeah.
thinking, what if this is an example of the world's oldest Fraggle being forgetful again? And like, oh, of course we had radishes back then when they actually didn't. Or
Right.
they did have radishes back then, and then everyone forgot about them until Matt discovered them again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely like an unreliable narrator. Like, I think that's clear for,
Well, I
for a
think both
dozen
of those
different
guys-
reasons.
I think both of those guys are unreliable narrators, though, too.
It's true.
Like Matt
think
and
Dave
Gobo's
Goles-
Fraggle.
Dave Goles is just an unreliable narrator.
Right. Did you see Muppet Christmas Carol? That dude claims to be Charles Dickens.
That's perfect. Damn. All right.
Also, hey, one more.
Yeah.
One more.
Totally.
The way Rugby remembers it,
Oh,
he was
Mm.
always the Christmas toy. All right. But last time I checked, Apple was shedding tears in the corner.
Wow.
So
Reach.
yet another example.
Yeah.
Reach.
You know, baby Gonzo had a clear memory of being raised by his parents, but adult Gonzo was an alien or something. Okay, let's move on.
just real quickly, another tiny indicator of being ancient times is that in addition to the saber-toothed Inkspots, you know, the little puppets that almost kind of look like, you know, cat-sized elephants? This one is now looking like a miniature woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to go to Build-A-Bear and make one.
Aw.
Yeah,
that
that was
little
a good.
guy. He's like,
Yeah, I spotted him and I forgot about him already because I was so busy looking at those saber-toothed Inkspots.
yeah, that rules.
I
That is
love
the
them.
greatest thing.
Why don't we have Inkspots that you can buy as a toy? Like, I don't understand this world that I can't own an Inkspot.
Right?
And
You
then,
should
like,
commission somebody to make you an ink spot. You probably could.
yeah, I really should. Yeah. All right, I'm working
We
on
know
that.
some people.
Yeah, we'll call in a couple of favors. So in this flashback, the world's youngest Fraggle wanders through a cave, and he looks up and sees what he describes as a million wigglers in the goopy goop. And of course, none of this makes any sense. The Fraggles don't get it, but Jamdalin seems to have faith. Yeah, right. The fanboy Jamdalin has faith that this means something. He says maybe it's something we lost sight of. And world's oldest Fraggle says, exactly. Now, does anyone know where we're going? Because he's still lost. He doesn't know where he's going. He's so old, you guys.
He's so old. He's the same age as Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And we also got a good line reading from Moki where she goes, I don't mean to be negative, especially on Night of the Lights, but this guy has no idea where he's going.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good stuff. So the other thing I wanted to mention about World's Youngest Fraggle, there was like a split second of him in one of the trailers for the season of the show. So that was one of the things that
I missed that.
A Muppet fan had spotted. And when the season was over, went, where did that shot come from? We saw a baby World's Oldest Fraggle, and it was not in the show. So we kind of had a feeling there was more coming that was already filmed. So that was clue number one. Clue number two, for me at least, and no one else, and I'll explain that in a second, came up in this next sequence, because Red says, it feels like we're following Gobo's Uncle Matt. And so, of course, Gobo's like, oh, so we'll read the next postcard. And which, by the way, also, like, of course, following the world's oldest Fraggle feels like following Uncle Matt, because they're both played by the same guy. Red figured it out before the rest of us. And then Gobo starts reading, Dear Nephew Kobo. That's a G. The handwriting's messy. I like that. And then, we got the sequence of, like, Matt is, like, sneaking into people's houses.
You skipped my favorite line of that, which is Gobo says he's going to read the postcard or whatever because Red brought it up. And Red says, don't put that on me.
Right.
Which I think is really funny.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Because Red's, like, complete hatred and dismissal of Matt has always been one of my favorite things about Fraggle Rock.
Yeah.
And
same.
I love that they kept it up in the new show.
I need a super cut of all the Red acting disgusted at Matt's postcards.
Yeah,
that needs to happen. So in the postcard, Matt is sneaking into people's homes and watching them celebrate different holidays. Most of them are candle lighting holidays. We see Diwali and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. We see people lighting Christmas tree. And it ends with him being caught by the family that's celebrating Diwali, and then he dumps a whole plate of food directly into his mouth. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. Well,
good stuff.
I liked this. I liked it because it felt like the original. I know this is not a remake of Bells of Fraggle Rock, but Bells of Fraggle Rock, the Doc and Sprocket subplot is about them trying to celebrate all different winter holidays.
That's true. Yeah.
So I really liked that. That's what Matt's postcard was about.
Yeah, and for someone like me who, like, I was raised Jewish, so we're always kind of like looking for the Hanukkah references and all these Christmas and generic holiday specials. So, like, this to me was also the Bob saying, and Mr. Hooper, happy Hanukkah moments. It's like, we're just gonna throw you a little bone there, for if you celebrate the other thing, the others, but everything's an other to Fraggles because they're celebrating Night of the Lights. They don't know what Christmas is unless they remembered meeting Kermit and Robin.
Kermit and Robin told them, yeah.
That's right. So the other clue to me, again, and no one else, that there was a bonus episode coming of Fraggle Rock that was already filmed. When I was doing one of the Fraggle Talk interviews, I was talking to, it was for the finale. So the previous episode to this one, I was talking to John Tartaglia and Hallie Stanford, and I asked them what was the last thing that was filmed. And they told me, I don't remember what their answer was, but then Hallie Stanford corrected herself and said, oh no, the last thing that was filmed was the Traveling Matt where he's celebrating Christmas. And after the interview was over, she said, would you mind cutting that from the interview?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about that yet. And I went, yes, that's perfectly fine. So I was like, I think there's more coming. They could neither confirm nor deny. So yeah, now the secret's out. So now I finally got this off my chest. You don't know how good this feels.
That's all you've been thinking about.
So while they've been reading this postcard, the world's oldest Fraggle has wandered off once again. But they say, don't worry, it's not like they're lost in the dark. They got their glow grapes. And then, as if Chekhov had heard them from beyond the grave, the Num birds show up and they take the grapes and presumably eat them off screen. And it becomes very, very dark.
I love that they apologize for it. Sorry, we're very hungry this time of year. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So they could have like left them one, but sure, yeah. I guess they were really hungry.
They're just so hungry.
I don't know what else Num birds eat. Maybe there's nothing else. Maybe this is the one time a year that they can eat anything. So
they eat the
who knows?
Maybe they eat the grapes of generosity, and then they get so selfish that they all try. It's a mad frenzy to eat all the grapes.
Wow. Those guys love grapes. They're always like, you got any grapes?
No, this is a lemonade stand. No.
Okay, we're getting way off. Okay, so it's very dark. Red is kind of scared, so Moki goes in to give her a hug. But of course, she can't see anything, so she hugs Jamdalin, which is adorable.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Red admits to not getting Moki a gift, so Moki goes in for another hug, and once again hugs Jamdalin. It's great. Could have used a third one. Could have used a rule of 3 in that joke, but we only got 2. That's okay.
They only do the rule of 2 on Fraggle Rock.
That's right. That's how they do things in Fraggle.
Well, because remember when they were counting down, they replaced 3 with pickle. So they just don't have the concept of 3.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
There you go.
Wow. Oh, you just blew my mind. Wow. All right. All right. Now I'm looking for it. I'm going to look to see if they ever mention the number 3 in this series.
Oh, I'm sure they must.
Oh yeah,
we'll find out. All right, we're gonna keep track now. So all the Fraggles seem to feel kind of guilty and responsible because they all wished too big, and like this is one.
Hey Joe. Joe.
Yeah.
Give me 1 and give me 2. Cover me with muck and goo. Give me 3 and give me 4. Smother me with guck and gore. So.
Maybe because if you count to 3, you get smothered in
this
muck and gore.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's true. Yeah. Anyway,
maybe Barry Allen went back in time to save his mom, and now the number 3 doesn't exist.
Eradicated the number 3.
That's right. Anyway.
So
all the that's right.
Red admits like she never, got a present for Moki. Everyone's like admitting the thing they secretly feel bad about. And Wembley, of course, is the first to be like, is this my fault for wishing too big? And like that broke my heart. Like, oh, buddy. Yeah. Oh, buddy. And then we finally get to hear what Moki wished for. Like, I wish for bliss and connection, but I get that all the time with you guys. And then Boober, oh my God. He's like, no, guys, this one's on me. I shouldn't have wished to make it through the night. I got greedy.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, buddy. Can we talk about that, little buddy? Are you okay?
Well, and that's one of the things. That's one of the things that has always been so great about Fraggle Rock, though, is that like ever-present sense of existential dread, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a show for children that has like multiple songs. There's a song where Gobo sings the line, I know that nothing's made of steel. I sometimes think that nothing's real. Right? And that's just like one random, right? It's like Dixie Whalen is like a funeral dirge. And
right.
There's a million of them. So it's just great that they keep that. Like, that's one of those things that could have so easily not been present when they brought the show back, like sand off some of those darker edges.
I really appreciate that they gave that existential dread to Booper, because in the original series, like obviously he had a lot of superstitions. He also had a lot of fear of disease and germs. And I get why the reboot chose to make a decision, hey, maybe let's not have Boober have that particular fear.
Sure.
That seems a very reasonable choice to make in a global pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
But we still have to have Boober be... Yeah, exactly. We still have to have Boober be afraid of something and maybe afraid of everything sometimes.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. I didn't even think about that with the germs. That's a really good observation. And it's interesting that, like, you know, Boober's dread is definitely played more as a joke than not. But so I watched this episode twice in preparation for this this podcast. The first time I watched it, I definitely clocked that it was an interesting line, but I didn't clock that it was a joke. Like, because they're all being like, oh, what if it's my fault? Oh, what if it's my fault? And he's like, yeah, what if it's my fault too? And you're like, yeah, Boober, what if it was? And it wasn't until the second time I'm like, oh no, that's actually a really funny line that, you know, he's like, oh, it's my fault. I shouldn't have wished that we survived, you know?
Right.
Yep.
So like it's like there's that moroseness to Boober that, like, you can't really tell if it's a joke or not. And like it's not depressing, but it's also not too funny. It's not too goofy that he's kind of a sad sack when it comes to this stuff. I don't know. There's definitely a lot to unpack with Boober. So Jamdalin points out that the problem is that they've been trying to push the darkness out with the light, but there can't be any light without dark. So maybe instead of pushing, they should embrace the dark, which is a very nice sentiment. I'm not really sure what that means. And Beth, you mentioned this at the top of the episode. So maybe you can explain it to me.
It reminded me strongly of a class I took at my weirdo hippie liberal arts college with no grades or tests or majors. And in one class I went to that was literally called A Sense of Wonder, we put together. I'm not making this up. This is what you get when you go to Evergreen, folks.
It's just like, what if you got like a C in a class where you're supposed to sit around and wonder things? Did it not wonder hard
grades.
enough? Well, yeah, there you go. Fair enough.
So we put on a celebration of darkness at the winter solstice, and I was suggesting, you know, when people were like putting ideas together, I was like, oh, I'm thinking of like St. Lucia Day, because my you know, my grandmother is Swedish, and he was like, okay, but we don't want to talk about the holidays where it's like, you know, the return of the light quite yet. We want to sit in that darkness and like really understand that. And ended up putting together some really cool things. Like a few students like reenacted the myth of the goddess figure Anna. I think she's from the Gilgamesh epic. And one person, like I recited a Mary Oliver poem. And then we had someone leading us in singing together, you know, that song, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. You know that song?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, you guys.
Never in my life.
So when Red said, so they're saying like, oh, yes, that you have to embrace the dark. And then Red says, so the light can come back in. And I was like, bingo, there it is.
Yeah. Well, so here's the difference between you and me, Beth. Yours was very thoughtful and philosophical. And I'm just going to reference Pixar again. It reminded me of it just reminded me of Inside Out, you know, how like Joy wants everything to be happy all the time, and then the lesson is like you need sadness or happiness isn't really happiness, you know.
I mean, Inside Out is super thoughtful and philosophical.
No, but it is. But I feel bad that earlier I'm like, this baby looks like Baby Dory. This lesson reminds me of Inside Out, you know, like.
But here's my question though. I understand what you're saying, Beth, about like, oh yes, we need to like embrace the darkness, like the little bit of light can come in and the light can be back in our lives, and et cetera, et cetera. But in the scope of this episode, the lights are out, they're all kind of miserable, and they all just go, oh, what if we need to embrace the darkness? And then the lights turn on. It's like, I don't feel like they're actually doing anything that is actively embracing darkness.
But I thought it was that, because then we get it again with the Gorgs, where like all their lights go off, and then they can see the northern lights.
Yeah,
and I think that's what it's about, right? It's like we don't need the artificial lights. The artificial lights aren't as powerful as the northern lights that we see in the sky. And if we didn't have the darkness, we wouldn't have seen it.
Right. So what you're saying is literally they wouldn't have been able to see the lights that we're about to mention if they hadn't shut off their glow grapes.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll
That's
accept that.
definitely true for the Gorgs, but I also agree with you, Joe, that I don't think this theme was as strong as it could have been. I felt like they could have spent a little more time really having the characters like figure out what embracing the darkness means to them and why it's important to them, and then the light can come back.
And I'll also throw this out there. I think it was a bit of a cheat to have Jamdolin be the one to tell them that, because if this was Cantus would have said something really cryptic, and they would have been like, "Cantus, what are you talking about? Hang on a second. I think what you're trying to say is X, Y, and Z." But instead, Jamdolin was like, "Here are the answers to the test," and they were like, "I think I figured it out." And Jamdolin's like, "Yeah, I told you the answer." Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be really hard to write for Jamdolin because he's like kind of a legacy character, but kind of not.
Right.
And he's kind of a totally new character and kind of not.
I think it would have helped in this case if he was a little bit more cryptic or aloof, or I don't know what it is, but not quite so like, I hate to say normal, because it's not really a normalcy thing, but like it kind of is. Like he can be very straightforward if he wants to be. Like he can say like he can say what he wants to say without it being misconstrued. And maybe they could have taken it in some direction that made it so like, yeah, he's trying his hardest to say the thing he wants to say, but the Fraggles are going to have to do a little bit of work to kind of meet him halfway.
Yeah, that's what I liked. Cantus at his most infuriating moments was just bizarre and inscrutable, but at his best moments he was like that kind of parenting where you're just kind of letting the kid figure things out on their own, and you could give them the answer, you could show them the answer, but that's not the point.
Right.
Yeah. Everything's a teachable moment to Cantus. Like you'll figure it out on your own, right? I mean, like we might all freeze to death, but like you'll figure it out. You'll do the right thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, in any case, the lights do go out, and as we said, they spot a light coming from a nearby cave. The world's oldest Fraggle is there, and he leads them out to a clearing. We first see what looks like some Christmas trees and some snow. Yes, please.
So he has this line, he sees them again, like, oh, the group is reunited, and he says, "Am I with you or are you with me?" And Jamdolin says, "I think we're all together."
Yeah.
Anyone else get a Beatles reference out of that?
I did now. Wow.
You think that it was you're talking about I'm the Walrus?
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. I can see it. I didn't think of it, but I can see it now that you say it.
Wow.
Awesome.
Jamdolin has always felt very like late Beatles to me.
And think about this, you guys. 1 and 1 and 1 are 3.
It's Pickles.
It's Pickles, you guys. It is. So they go out into this clearing. It's snowy out there, it's cold, and they look up, and there's like an aurora borealis happening in the sky above them. It's this beautiful, light in the sky. It's dancing around, and as the world's oldest Fraggle said, it's a million wigglers in the goopy goop. Which also reminds
just
us,
like, yeah, I knew I could count on my guy.
He says, I knew that made sense when he said that earlier. And he says, an honorary nephew always knows.
Yeah, that rules.
What?
Well, just like you get to decide that whatever celebrity you pass by is your buddy, Jamdolin has decided this guy's my uncle.
I guess that's bonkers, though, because we've never heard of such a thing as an honorary nephew on Fraggle Rock. Only a real nephew.
And even the world's oldest Fraggle goes, wait, what?
Yeah,
right.
The joke is that Jamdolin just invented honorary nephew.
I guess, yeah. What's also interesting is so we're recording this just a day or so, I think, after our buddy Ryan Rowe, our real buddy Ryan Rowe, posted his interview with Traveling Matt on ToughPigs, and he's says, thank you for letting me call you Uncle Traveling Matt. So Ryan is kind of an honorary nephew to the real Traveling Matt, if you think about it.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not bad. But what I like about the whole Million Wigglers and the Goopy Goop thing is it reminds us the Fraggles don't normally see sky. Like, unless they're in the Gorg's garden or they're like traveling going into outer space, like they never see the sky. That's just the Goopy Goop to them. Man.
Now, in the original series, there's an episode where Moki goes to see the Aurora Fragalialis, which appears to be within a cave, and we don't know what's causing it or if it's at all related to the Aurora Borealis that we know in outer space. But this is clearly outer space in this version.
Right, because
right.
Well, we'll get to the why in a second. I do want to save that for the ends, but let's wrap up Red and Moki's storyline here, where Red's apologizing for not giving Moki a gift, but she gives her this wonderful compliment. She says she's the most amazing one-of-a-kind Fraggle she's ever met. So glad she's her best friend. Moki gives her this big hug. Doesn't hug Jamdalin this time. That would have been the rule of 3 if Jamdalin like showed up in between them and ruined their moment. But no, she hugs Red. Says it's the best gift she ever got. And she got her wish, which was connection. I don't know if she got the bliss, but she got the connection.
And Red got her wish because she got a great gift from Moki.
And then
this is how we learn what their love languages are.
That's
Moki's
true.
love language is gifts, and Red's love language is words of affirmation.
Well, then Boober pops up behind them and says, "And I survived."
Yeah,
good job, buddy.
That's his love language. His love language is just survival.
You did it.
Good job, buddy. Wembley's wish obviously came true. He got to see the most magical lights in Fraggle Rock. And then we find out what Gobo's wish was. It was for Wembley to get his wish. It's a bit of a cheat, but I'll accept it. So this is when we get our second song of the episode. It's the song Magic Be With You. It's from the original series, the series finale, Change of Address.
Series finale, yeah.
So I went into this convinced that they were going to reuse There's a Rhythm from the Bells of Fraggle Rock from the other holiday episode, because it never occurred to me they might use anything else. And when I heard Jamdalin start to sing this song instead, I started crying. I was like, they got me. They got me.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. No, it's great. It's gorgeous. It's
so after I watched it the first time, I did go back and watch just this clip from Change of Address. That's when I got my little cry out, because that's such a good series finale.
Well, and that choral arrangement in Change of Address is it's unbelievable. It's like
yeah. I mean, both of these arrangements are terrific. Like the harmonies in this one with, like Moki and Gobo and Jamdalin singing, it's fantastic. But what's interesting to me is like them choosing a song from the series finale kind of made me think, I wonder if they wanted this to work just in case it was the series finale. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what I thought. That like, it's a miracle that the show happened at all. And just in case we don't get any more, we want to make sure that we pay full homage and go out with not a bang, but like that perfect magic that the original series did and they somehow recaptured.
Absolutely. Wembley asks, do you think everyone in the universe can see this? And we kind of get a glimpse of everyone else seeing this aurora. It's we see the Doozers. They are now officially taking a break from working so they could sit and enjoy these lights. The Gorgs, their glow grape lights on their castle kind of burn out. But then they look up and see the light. There's a sweet little moment with Junior and Pa Gorg kind of bonding, which we don't really see in the series because Pa Gorg is such a jerk the whole time.
And it's actually it's a continuation of that relationship, that like that very unhealthy relationship that was established in the rest of Back to the Rock, that like Pa Gorg is expecting so much out of Junior, and then Junior fails to meet those expectations, and then Pa sees this incredible light display that just happens to be there, and Junior's like, you know what, I'm fine taking credit with this. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah. So wait, do you think that Pa Gorg thinks that Junior created the Aurora Borealis?
Oh yes, because he says, "Yeah, that'll do. Good job, son. Good job."
Oh, that's right. He does say "Good job, son." Yeah.
I was like, That'll do,
Wow.
donkey. That'll do.
Right.
That's his moment.
So we also get our first and only glimpse of Sprocket and Doc in this episode. They're on a Zoom call together as the Aurora is going over the workshop. Doc is visiting her dog allergic grandma, and Sprocket's being watched by Mrs. Schimmelfinney. The whole thing kind of feels like a bit of an afterthought, obviously, with Doc coming in on a screen. Mm-hmm.
I feel like Lily Cooper must just not have been available, right?
So the question is that at what point in production did they realize that they were going to be doing this bonus episode? Because if they knew from the get-go, there's no reason they couldn't have had Lily Cooper do a very quick scene with Sprocket.
Yeah.
But if they realized partway through, Apple was like, hey, we want to order one more episode, then it's like, well, Lily Cooper filmed, we know from the interviews we've done on this podcast, Lily Cooper filmed all of the Doc and Sprocket scenes before anything else. It was the first thing they did. So it does make more sense to say, like, okay, we're not going to fly her all the way from New York to Calgary for literally 30 seconds on camera. So let's get her on Zoom and we'll incorporate that in. And that's fine. It's not a big deal. Well, it is one scene.
But it is very sad. Like, it's very sad to me, the idea that Doc and Sprocket are not spending the holidays together, you know? And in universe, it's very sad. In like Doyleist, I get it. Like you say, Lily Cooper probably just couldn't make it. But like Watsonian, I don't know, man. I don't want to think about Doc and Sprocket being separated at Christmas time. You know?
And it kind of undercuts the purpose of having the scene at all, which is they should be enjoying the Aurora, and they're not. Like, I don't think Sprocket even acknowledges it. So like it's really just kind of a tacked on, like, we're all spending the holidays together one way or another, even if it's virtual, which is also something that a lot of us have had to do in the last few years.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Like if they were each outside and watching it together, that could have been really cool.
Yeah.
Like look, like we're experiencing it together but separately.
Right. Well, and I'm also kind of conflicted because, like you say, Joe, it doesn't quite fit the theme. It feels a little out of place. Like maybe they could have just not done it. But on the other hand, every other episode of Fraggle Rock has Doc and Sprocket in it. So
yes,
I would be very sad if they didn't show up at all.
I completely agree. And I prefer that they do it this way than not at all.
Then not at all.
I completely agree with that. Yeah. The world's oldest Fraggle and behind him an Inkspot are looking up at the lights, and they get a little flashback to the first time when he was the world's youngest Fraggle, when he saw the lights, and behind him the Inkspot has turned into a saber-toothed Inkspot for a moment, which is adorable.
Yeah, that's great.
Love it. Oh God, again, what a gift to get those two. Whew. Give me that. Give me that world's youngest Fraggle merchandise and that Inkspot merchandise. Henson Company, get on it.
It was such a beautiful, poignant moment of wonder to end on, and then instead they end on a joke. They end on a callback.
Wait, I do want to say before we get to that joke, one character who we don't see looking up at the lights. Where's Coop? I'm just asking where Coop is. He should have been looking up at those lights. No, but you're right. We do get so we get this great shot where we zoom back from where the Fraggles are. We see where they actually are, like on Earth, which is like they're in a forest looking up at the lights. They're in front of a big mountain. I wonder if this was a real mountain, like if someone could actually figure out like where on Earth this Fraggle hole has led to. That might be possible, or it might be fake.
Someone out there must be able to recognize, hey, I know that mountain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Boober says, so is now a good time for root cake? And then all that tension is just released.
Yeah. I like that joke though. I think it's fun.
I think it would have been fun if in unison after he said that all the other Fraggles go, Boober. And then you hear like a womp womp womp.
I think it would have been fun if all the Fraggles said, yes, it's root cake time. In unison.
And then Pee Wee Herman shows up and he's like, I made a whole wall out of root cake.
I made a whole wall out of root cake. Paul Rubens could voice a Fraggle. That'd be good.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah. No reason not to. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Do either of you have any further thoughts about Night of the Lights?
Just that now that I'm bummed out that I'm going to have to try and make up a recipe for root cake and I hate beets.
Oh.
Is there another root that you could use? Can you do carrots or something?
Oh, of course. Yeah, maybe I'll make the beets optional.
Right.
Turnips and whatnot. Radishes are roots.
There you go. Make a radish cake. Man, that doozer stick article, that was so good. That was important.
Thank you.
Important investigative journalism, in my opinion.
Completely agree.
Thank
Yes.
you. I agree.
Yeah,
Yes.
love it.
Everyone
Loved
go
it.
check out Beth's article about creating doozer
How to make
sticks,
doozer
edible doozer
sticks.
sticks. It's
But it's
It
fascinating.
was
That's
something
like-
that I'd been thinking about doing for years, and now I finally had a platform on which to
that's-
do it.
That's one of those things. Like, it was definitely one of those articles that I read, and I was just like, "This is why Tough Pigs exists." Like, it's for stuff like this, you know.
Yep.
So yeah. One thing I did want to say about this episode is, it's just a reminder. There are so many moments that just look so gorgeous,
Mm,
and it's such a. I mean, we've talked about how big a gift this show is, but just like every once in a while, I would, because I could take screenshots on the screener just for my own purposes, and I just like kept screenshotting them because they all look so good, and I just wanted to remember.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
that's a great point. And like, again, even I was looking at one of the earlier shots with the great hall filled with all the glowing glow grapes, and it's like, we know from talking to these folks that they like everything is practical. Everything that can be practical is practical. So like, they really did probably like put these lights
all
all
this.
over the rock, hanging from the ceiling and on every prop and every character and whatever. And like, it looks so good. And they didn't have to do that. They could have done so much of it in camera or in the computer. And yeah, they made the decision to like make it look good first and foremost. I'm really
Right.
grateful for that. Yeah.
Well, and I think it was because Muppets Haunted Mansion had just aired,
mm.
right? Which has all digital backgrounds, or almost all digital backgrounds.
Sure.
Right before the season came out for Back to the Rock. And I remember just worrying that, like, oh, that's cool. That's what it's going to look like. It's going to be
Right.
digital Fraggle Rock. Awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. And then it wasn't, and it looks amazing. And I was so happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Beth and Anthony, thank you both so much for being here for this conversation. I'm so grateful that we got to spend this wonderful Night of the Lights holiday together.
Yeah.
Aw.
Beth, can you please tell us where people can find you and your work on the internet?
Yeah, I've got some articles up on Tough Pigs. I've been on the previous Fraggle Talk episodes, and you can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook. That's Anna with 2 N's, like the Disney princess.
Wonderful. And Anthony, where can people find you and your work on the internet?
So you can find me on toughpigs.com, writing occasionally. Right around the time this episode goes up, I should have our friend Becca and I watched 3 episodes of Brats of the Lost Nebula.
Great. Yep,
And
that'll be
we're
coming up soon. Yep.
posting an article about that. And it's
Wonderful.
that spoiler, that show is bad. It's not like Fraggle Rock at
No,
all.
but I can't wait to hear you and Becca talking about it.
But so you can look for that. And I also, as Joe mentioned at the top, co-host the Tough Pigs podcast, Moving Right Along, where we watch Muppet movies 2 minutes at a time. And right now we're doing Muppet Christmas Carol. And the 2 of you are both coming on this season. So we haven't recorded with either of you yet, but listeners can listen out for you there too as well. Moving Right Along, wherever you can find podcasts.
Wonderful.
I recommended it to a friend just today.
Aw, thank you. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, great. Well, all of you fine Fraggle folks who are listening, thank you so much for tuning in. Please stay tuned to this channel. We'll be starting a new season of a new podcast very, very soon. But for now, we hope you all have a great Night of the Lights. We hope you check out toughpigs.com. And here's our gift to you. It's the credits at the end of this podcast. Fraggle Talk, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast, is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Produced, written, and hosted by Joe Hennis. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hultine Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company, Apple TV Plus, and the entire Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock family. For more from ToughPigs, please find us at ToughPigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TeePublic, and Patreon. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time down at Fraggle Talk.